All right, YouTube land. Oh, have I got a good video for you? Actually, I don't have a good video for you. I ran into space issues on my computer. So while I was deleting all these extra programs and junk I didn't need, and my editing software, what am I trying to say? It creates a second full file of everything that I do on it. So if I do a video, post it to my desktop, and then I upload that video, there's a proxy setting or a proxy file of the same thing in the computer. Anyway, in my quest for cleaning everything up, I cleaned out all the proxies, and in doing so, I went to go back into my editing software to re-render the video. It was gone. So I outsmarted myself, and that leads me to a bit of a conundrum, because this old Dodge is like 98% complete. Like, seriously, I've done a boatload of work in the last week of evenings, and I don't even know where to start. I'm at a loss. Alright, I'm going to get my list. We're going to go over it because I can't even remember all the things that I did to this poor truck. Just the luck. We're going to have to start from scratch on the list, and I'll run you through what got completed. Okay, to start out on the list, clean interior. We don't need no spiders. Clean out interior, did that. Inspected the floor. I mean, there wasn't any, you saw that. Removed the seat, removed the dash. I did remove the heater box. I removed the complete dash, by the way. I removed the heater box. I tore all the remnants of the insulation off the firewall and vacuumed it all out, scraped it all off. And then I actually, I had some leftover Dynamat from a couple of jobs ago, actually like 4 or 5 years ago. And I Dynamated the firewall. Let's see, remove the heater box. I rewired the dash. I actually used the harness that was cut in the truck. Oh, it feels weird sitting like that. So I repaired the wiring harness, soldered and shrink tubed all the connections. There was 24 cut wires in the main harness, another 10 cut for the instrument cluster connector. I rebuilt out of multiple parts an instrument cluster, a gauge cluster. I had a bunch of leftovers from other vehicles and over the years. And Brooke's truck, when we did her interior all over on the lunch truck, we tore apart a bunch of those clusters and made one good one for her. So I did that again for mine out of the almost as good parts. Okay, so it's got a complete dash in it. I'll show you in a minute here. Let's see. Rewired the dash. I reassembled all the dash. The only thing it's missing is the actual glove box cover. I've got one, and it's not great. But I'm gonna probably, like, Brooke had spray painted it with a really hideous blue. So I'm going to try and strip that paint off and see how it looks, but I'm missing the catch, I'm missing the button. The glove box cover is a down the road item. It doesn't stop me from driving the truck. Let's see. The windshield is in, but it is hideously cracked. Now, if you remember, I told you I had 2 windshields. Both of them were cracked already. But, so this rubber is the original one that came in this truck. I found it on the front floor. I pressure washed it. I treated it with like a rubber softener, which didn't do anything. And I ended up having to cut the windshield rubber in two places, but not before I decimated this windshield. As finesseful as I tried to be, it just kept on cracking and cracking. And once they start to crack, they're going to crack again. So knowing that I started with a cracked windshield, I knew I was going to end up with a worse cracked windshield. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but it's bad. Alright, that's windshield. Back windows in. I have not stripped apart the doors yet. For this build, the passenger window works. I can pop a driver's window in. I have one sitting here. So I'm not counting that towards the completion, because the budget side of this build, I can drive it, I could pop that window in, and done. All the glass would be working. But I am going to treat myself to a new weather strip seal kit and door whisker kit for both doors. And at that time, I'm going to put the door locks in from the ignition I robbed from another truck, because we got a working key now. And the door locks will match that key, and I'll be happy. But that's going to happen. The doors are going to happen in one night for me. But again, that's not part of the budgetary design of this. Right now they open and close, and that's what I need them to do. Okay, clean up the broken glass, yep, replace the windows, yeah, we talked about that. The passenger side mirror, I had a spare up in the backyard. It's not perfect, there's some backing missing on the mirror glass itself, but it fits. I had to tweak the mirror housing a little bit to make it perfect, but it works good. I found a headlight bucket, because the passenger side one was missing on this truck. And I grabbed one from a 1965 Dodge I have in the backyard. Is it correct? No. Does it fit? Yes. It actually fits okay, and the headlights are at the same height sticking out of the grill, so I'm happy, and I was able to adjust it, so yes. Does it fit? Yes. I also put in 2 new headlights, because this one wouldn't light up. So new headlights, welded in the floor, yep. Reinstalled the dash, yep. I installed another seat. I'll show you that in a minute here as well. I put carpet down on my list, and frankly, carpet's not in the budget. It's not going to be in my budget until the fall, and that depends if I store the truck for the winter, if I keep driving it through the winter. I don't know yet. If I'm going to drive it through the winter, I'm probably going to put carpet in it. Wiper motor, that was fun. Wiper motor and linkage and all that jazz. This is a 1978. The wiper motor and linkage assembly and wiper pivots, I pulled them all off of a 1983 Dodge. Should have been the same, but apparently after 1980 they made some little change. The wiper linkage transmission arm that runs up to the motor's bell crank is longer on the 83 than it is on the 78, is all I can guess, because I had to shorten that rod by 1 inch. These guys, the link bar that goes between the 2 wiper pivots, it's the same. No problem there. But the transmission arm that comes from the driver's side pivot that goes to the motor, the motor would turn, and it would get to a certain point where it was pushing the wiper over, and it would bind the motor and stop it. So I had to shorten the arm by 1 inch, welded it back up, put it all in. Now the wipers work fantastically. Washer nozzles are installed. I have to aim them. I don't have any washer fluid right now. I also had to change out the washer fluid pump. It was, the ground was corroded right off the side of it, and looking at the pump motor, I know it had frozen once or twice, probably several times over the last 25 years sitting there. Wiper cowl's back in place. Okay, make brakes work. We'll get to that in a minute. Muffler and tailpipe, done. I pulled the Flowmaster off of my little Dodge Caliber out there that I painted up all funky, and I made up a tailpipe and used a tip and just random pieces that I had. Worked out really good. There's some pinholes in it. I can hear an exhaust leak. I'm not worried about it. It extends out to in front of the passenger rear tire, and it's a single exhaust. I kept the factory Y pipe, and that goes into a straight pipe into the Flowmaster, and from the Flowmaster it kicks out 45-degree over to in front of the passenger rear tire. Wheels and tires. Hey, wheels and tires. We have got, why don't I show you? Our new BF Goodrich 255/60/15s on Envy D-spoke mags. In the rear, these are Bart Racing Circle Track rims with they're 15/8. The fronts are 15/7. These are 15/8, and these are 275/60/15s. The goofiest marker lights in the sides of these fenders. And you're right, they don't fit. Those are from 1981 and up trucks. 1980 and back had a full-size marker light that had a kind of a silver trim around it. And that's what I have to work with right now. But the wiring had been cut for the connector ends, so I replaced the wiring, soldered it all up, and I just put those in there to have lights in the corners until I can track down a set. They are very hard to find. Brakes. The brakes were kind of a letdown, but not a letdown. Nothing surprising, basically. The master cylinder, I at first thought that it wasn't pumping. I pulled the master open. The rear reservoir, which is for the front brakes, was completely bone dry, but it was clean. The front reservoir had a little bit of murky fluid in it, but you could shine a light through it and see the bottom, so it wasn't horrible. But I wasn't getting any fluid movement or any even bubbles. It turns out when I pulled the master off, the brake pedal was seized at first. I gave it a good bit of effort and it down to the floor and then didn't want to return, so I pulled it back manually. Well, what that did was that actually pushed the pistons that are inside the master all the way to the end of the bore. So I filled up the fluid and I'm pumping away and I'm getting nothing because the pistons were stuck in the bores all the way forward. Ended up, I had to put a new master cylinder on it. Again, brakes, I'm not going to argue. The brake calipers were both seized. The brake brake pads were wore out. The brake flex hoses, they were done, all three of them, the two fronts and the rear. I ended up replacing all the steel brake lines. Now, I had steel brake line here. I had just enough to get the job done. The one that goes from the proportioning valve to the rear, I actually had to bend the bracket that the flex hose goes to and everything to kind of make it connect, because that was tight. But I did a really nice job on the rear diff lines. I did a really nice job on the front too, and I'm very happy how the brake lines worked out. In the rear, I pulled the brake drums off. The driver's side had some chewed up springs and cables. Not surprising. The passenger side had a blown axle seal. Alright, add more to it. Well, the axle seals, they were like $6 a piece. No brainer. And I had fluid. I had the RTV sealer for the diff cover. Not a big deal. So I pulled the axles out, drained the diff, pulled the axles out, changed the axle seals, scrubbed up the backing plates, cleaned everything up. I was able to save the shoes. They got about 60 to 70% life left on them. So I was very happy I was able to save the shoes. But I put all new spring kit hardware on, new adjusters, and new slack adjuster cables. And I wire wheeled up the brake drums, I wire wheeled up the rotors, I repacked the bearings and adjusted them. In the front, essentially we've got a full working proper brake system on the truck now, and the vacuum booster works, so very happy. But the brakes and the tires were my two largest expenses on this. Everything else was veritably free. Here we have it. We now have a complete dash. The steering wheel and steering column are all scrubbed up and cleaned. There's our glove box area. Again, I don't have the cover that I want to put in there yet. I don't have the little clips and everything for it yet either. We have sun visors that are the proper color. We have a dash cover that is for a proper color. Oil pressure and water temp both work. Fuel gauge hasn't come around yet, but I'm not stressed. I'm going to let that ride for a bit, get some fresh fuel in it. All the headlights work. And all my roof lights now work as well. Had to pull each roof light apart, change the bulb, and clean the ground on them, and then they all just work beautifully. We have park lights. The cargo light works. The dome light works. I had to finagle with the socket a bit, but the dome light works. As you can see. Whoop, 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 whoop. And we got a seat. Now, the seat is green, but it's in fantastic shape. It's got a little bit of tearing here from the vinyl separating from the cloth, but the rest of the seat is magnificent. So this is just going to get a blue seat cover of some kind. Down the road, not part of the budget. The signal lights all work, and the cancel works for the signal lights. Washer fluid sprayers work. The only thing that actually doesn't work, like even the blower motor works. This truck just, oh man, it just wants to live. The only thing that doesn't work is the horn. Two-part reason. One, the relay is fried. But two, the horn button on the steering wheel, it's super touchy. And it does not want to release every time. So if I put it on, if I hooked it up properly, it would want to, I'd hit a crack in the road and the horn wouldn't come on, is what I'm saying. So I'm not interested in that at all. I did buy a new air filter, $6. And what else? Oh, I'll show you that windshield. There is my beautiful windshield install. If you've been a part of this channel for any length of time, you know I've installed several windshields, and I knew what I was getting into with this one. Like I said, it was cracked on both sides, and I didn't help it out any. But this truck is almost 100% done. Legal for the road. Okay, no, not legal for the road yet. Technically the windshield would fail it, but I do happen to be an auto mechanic and I can certify it. So this windshield's only going to stay in for about a month, and I'll drive it for the month with the windshield cracked, and I'll get an appointment and get a windshield order up for it. And I mean, that's where it's sitting. So I apologize, guys. I had video evidence of everything that was going on. I had all these little steps along the way that I'd forgotten about. And when I lost that footage tonight, I'm like, well, fantastic. So here we are with a somewhat lengthy video of me gabbing away. Oh, you might have noticed I actually have some signage around my garage now. I figure I've been here for about a little over 2 years, and well, fellow might as well start decorating a little. Because I'm waiting on 2 items for this truck to call it good enough to drive to and from work. Item number 1 is the rear tail lamp lenses. I will have those on Tuesday. You watching this Monday, tomorrow. And escape brain. Oh, carburetor kit. There's a clogged passage or something in the carburetor. It works good without hesitation, and then it hesitates. I'm not sure where it is, but without having a gasket kit, I'm not going to tear it apart, rip one of the gaskets, and try some funky crap to make it work. I've got a carb kit coming, and it was 35 bucks. Taillights were 105. If you guys are interested, I'll do up a breakdown of what I consider a budget rig, and this thing suits me for a budget rig. In the grand scheme of things, I have not had to put a whole lot into it to get it where it is, and I think it's something you guys can do too. But on that note, I'm Dave from Dave's Glory Shopworks, and I hope you enjoyed some of this video anyway. I know I had a lot better info on the other videos, but boy, it is what it is sometimes. You can't win them all. Anyway, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.